on the whole spectrum of the types of housing available for people with disabilities, the knowledge evolution is natural. It takes time for people to get the hang of it. But how you have seen what the kind of housing options available for people with disabilities and what is the better outcomes?
Sure. It's an interesting question. And I think there is a bit of a conflict at the moment in the space between expectations of what people would like to have and the reality of what is actually going to be made available. I quite often make the comment to some support coordinators who get in touch with me along the lines of, well, I'd like to live on the beachfront in Cottesloe too, but that's not going to happen. And the reason your client is probably not going to be able to achieve their goal is because no one is building a product in that particular location because it's just not viable. So I think that is something that's going to evolve as well. It is perhaps perceived to be at odds with this choice and control idea, but the reality is I think expectations are something that need to be established and created and set with our participants as well. That this is what is available, and in due course perhaps that will change. I was invited to a roundtable discussion commissioned by the NDIS in November last year around pricing and where product for SDA is going to be developed. And really what it came down to was the reason that the NDIS hasn't got product in locations where they want it is because the pricing structure just doesn't support the investment. And if they want to outsource this sector to the private sector, they need to review or just come up with a different structure, I think. The funding for participation isn't really favourable to apartment projects because the cost is much higher. But they also, they want to have funding for, I'll say that again, they have actually funded clients to go and live in inner city suburbs into three participant share housing, but no one's delivering that product. So there is a few challenges in that regard. And I think while the industry is evolving and learning, maybe the NDIS itself isn't quite keeping pace with how the private sector is evolving and meeting the industry demand.